Well, welcome back to the Milestones Minute. I'm Nikki Glantz,
I'm Sakina.
and here we are today talking about milestones and really just getting real with what to expect.
Right.
I know we know a lot of people call with apprehension and expectations. We want to just quell the worries and just walk through a day in the life of someone coming into milestones. And so what I'm going to do is first map out a day one, and then more typical the day in a life.
Okay.
So typical for day one is you come in and meet with the admissions manager to go over any paperwork that needs to be finalized in part of the admissions process. You will meet with the nurse, you'll meet with the nutritionist, go over the food plan, go over a food shopping list, and things like that. Actually, on day one, we don't have you food shop. This is using, again, we always talk about feedback as a gift. Some of the feedback we got is on day one, it was too much for someone to go food shopping on day one. So now what we
That
do,
makes sense.
yeah, so we have them, the food, we make the list with the new person as a nutritionist. We go over not only the food plan, but the food shopping list. And then we food shop for them. So that's really nice so that no one has to have
Hmm.
the stressors of that on day one. We also have a buddy. So someone in the community is matched with a new person and they make the meals for the person on day one. And all we
Yeah.
ask on day one is you do the best you can with the meals and you are given that meal for both lunch and dinner. So you don't have any pressures around prepping and making and doing. You just get here and we take care of that stuff. Um, the rest of the day you might go into group, you might speak to just meet your therapist for on day one, but in the end, after meeting with the nurse and the nutritionist and admissions, we just make sure all do some assessments, we make sure all those things are wrapped up. Then you go back to the apartments, and we do have apartment style living, so we're not a hospital like setting. This is real apartments, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, full kitchens, full bath. And you go back to the apartments, get settled in. We have what we call resident managers who work over at the apartments, who help. They're the staff there that make sure all the things that are going on over there get worked into our program, and great support for all the clients. And then so usually that's around 3:34. We have a little downtime. Then it's dinner time around 5:30. Then usually we have recovery meetings after that, and then evening meds if that's what is required. We check in again, and then you go to bed and start the next day. So the first day, it's a lot of nerves, but we literally walk you through it step by step and make sure whatever you're experiencing, we're here to meet your needs. Now, I know we also wanted to talk about a day in the life, a day in
Yeah.
the life. So, I know you're going to talk about groups and everything. I'll
Hmm.
just touch a little more on a day in the life as far as what do we say, times and stuff like that. So, what it looks like as far as waking up around 7:30. 7:30 is breakfast. You have breakfast with your roommates and you're already on plan. So, you're having your breakfast. Then you take the Milestones van over to the Milestones bus over to Milestones the office. So we have the residence and then the office center. And so go from the residence to the office is about 7 to 10 minutes of a, I would say, of a,
Yeah.
yeah, right,
About that.
yeah. And you get over here and then you start groups, and we have 5 groups a day including lunch. And we maybe you could go into a little detail of what groups look like and what that
Hmm.
looks like.
Hmm. Hmm. I absolutely. So we have a robust schedule for our groups.
Mm-hmm.
You will be in the center 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. You will typically in the center from about 9 o'clock until 3 o'clock or
30,
3:30.
yeah.
3:30 ish, I would
Mm-hmm.
say. So that's the time of a typical day. Now, when it comes to our groups, we honor the foundation of Smurf, which is spirituality, which I am very excited to say that that is a group that I'm very passionate about, that I facilitate every single week. And so sometimes when you say the term spirituality, is it's like, what does that mean? The good news is that you get to define it, and whatever you believe is certainly welcome here in our facility or in our
Yeah.
treatment program. We have a group called Healthy Relationships.
Mm-hmm.
We have community groups where we plan particular activities so the community can bond with each other. We have groups on boundaries. We have groups on parts. If you're
Right.
familiar with internal family systems, how different parts of you are activated for different reasons.
Yeah.
Another group that we have that is constantly raved about is our meditation group. So we also have an hour one time a week where we sit as a community and do meditations together.
Hmm.
Now, something I am really excited to share is that we have someone come in, and her name is Tammy, and she facilitates a drumming and sound bowl group.
Hmm.
All right. So I literally sat in that yesterday just to kind of get a feel for it. Although she's been coming for a while, and I tell you, these type of groups right here, I would say would be are life changing. You
Yes.
may want to find it at home locally. But again, our schedule is robust. There's a lot of different subject matters. I also encourage the clinical team who facilitates the group to really understand the needs of the community that are here,
Hmm.
right? So if there's a particular theme that is coming up where different clients or patients are having challenges in certain
Yeah.
areas, once we are aware of that, we will create a group just
That's more
around
custom around that.
that
Yes.
particular
Yeah.
subject
Like
matter.
boundaries or
Yeah,
something.
or
Right.
attachment styles,
Yes.
or compassion, or
Self care.
yeah,
Yes.
self-care and things like that. So we really go the extra mile to make sure that the structure of our program meets the needs of every individual when they come in the door.
Yes, and just thinking from being one of the nutritionists here, one of the things, so we have nutrition groups, we have two of those a week. We also do exercise. So
Yes.
we have a special gym we go to that's an individualized, personalized class for our group, with an instructor that is literally, talk about individualized. She makes sure each person is covered and can do
Hmm.
only their level. And we also do yoga. We have walking. We do 20-minute walks, so there's a lot of room for movement and also for working on yourself as far as therapeutically, and
Yeah.
because really ultimately we always say it's about the food and it's not about the food. So through the groups and your therapeutic sessions and nutrition sessions, we find out and work on the stuff that's behind it. So yeah.
One big question that comes up often is, how often do I see my therapist?
You're right, it
Right.
does come up.
So I will say every week you will be scheduled to see your therapist for an hour. But typically it doesn't end there. So let's say if a challenge comes up outside of that hour of time that you're scheduled to connect with your therapist, you will communicate that to your therapist, and then when they have the opportunity, they'll come find you and bring you into their office so that you can walk through
What's
whatever
going,
is
yeah,
coming up for you.
that's true.
One of the things that I say when people walk in the door is that I know it was a tough decision for
Hmm.
you to get here. And I don't think that you mentioned that once you book a ticket to come to Milestones, we're located in Cooper City. We actually have a
Florida.
car service set up to
Oh
pick you
yes.
up from the airport, bring you all the way back to the center with your luggage. You come in, you have a team of people
Waiting.
waiting to invite you
Welcome you in.
and
Yes.
welcome you in.
Yep.
And then when I get an opportunity to see you, I will say very sincerely that I am an advocate for you. So that means that I understand that everybody here are strangers. You don't know a lot of people,
Yeah.
but I want you to feel confident to be able to come to me. Let me know if you need anything or if something is not going your way. What I love about the culture of Milestones is constant feedback.
Yes.
So we really mean what we say when we say individualized care. So what you need matters, and we're
Hmm.
really big on ensuring that every person can use their voice
Yeah.
when they walk in the door, because it
Yes.
really goes back to the importance of feeling seen
And
and
heard.
most
Yeah.
importantly understood. And we get how vulnerable the choice is to come to milestones. So
Yeah.
we make sure that we handle that with sensitivity and care.
Absolutely. And that really, and that's why we're even doing this.
Yeah.
We get these questions. We always talk about feedback being a gift, and the feedback is like, what's a day in the life? What does it feel like?
Mm-hmm.
What does it look
Mm-hmm.
like? And so this
Mm-hmm.
was the opportunity to do that and to give that information. And we welcome, phone calls and ask
Mm-hmm.
more questions, because we want you to see and understand the process
Yeah,
before you make that final decision, and we want you to
absolutely.
feel comfortable with it. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad you mentioned all of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think other than like we said, walking through the day one, and then also a day in the life with all the groups. After all of the groups, you go back around somewhere between around 3:30, and then that's where you have a little downtime, which is always very nice. We've said before at our facility at Milestones, you get to use your cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people like to connect with their family or loved ones during that downtime, and then it's dinner at 5:30. Everyone comes together, whether it's with your roommates or the community, depending on if it's community dinner night or just roommate dinner night. And then after that, we go into the meetings, recovery meetings, and then evening meds, and then sleep. And we
Mm-hmm.
we also, you mentioned Smurf and spirituality and support being the first one. It's meditation and movement, exercise, rest, and the R is for rest. And we really do talk about sleep hygiene here
Yeah.
and the importance of creating a good night hygiene, and that starts with going to bed in a reasonable amount of time, something a lot of us are not doing when we're in disease and we're in our eating disorder. So it really culminates with that, and then we start the day over again, and we're here to support you and welcome you back into the morning of breakfast and then groups and all, and we start all over again, and we're here to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Uh-huh.
so this is another great opportunity to talk about milestones. It was a milestones minute, so thank you once again for listening.
All righty.